game 2 of the weekend. Bleeding Heartland from Bloomington, Indiana versus the Montreal New Skids on the block. I am Monichrome, met here with Plastik Patrik. And should we do some... gameplay is starting now.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll give you rosters in the first break. And that's a quick lead jammer by Meliwana. And that is Knuckle Sammy, number 44 for Bleeding Heartland.
Knuckle Sammy stuck, being forced back at the back of the pack by Montreal. And Marijuana is through 5 points, natural grand slam. Bleeding Heartland just makes it out of the pack. Pack is spread out quite a bit, anticipating the new Skids coming in. She tries on the outside and calls it off. Bloomington 0 points on that pass, 5 points for Montreal.
Et ça fait 10 points, 5 points, 5 points. Yeah, Meliwana didn't score on that last pass. She tried a very brave maneuver to the outside, but unfortunately she was pushed to the outside and did not score.
Lining up for Bloomington in the white, that's 114. Bipolar curves. I'm not sure that we saw her on the jammer line yesterday.
Actually, that's, I think it's 314.
314, sorry.
Yeah. And then whips, Miracle Whips, 1, 2, 3 for Montreal.
One more to beat for Bloomington. She does it. Montreal just trying to make her way back out of the pack. We see a track cut, and Miracle Whips is in the penalty box for Montreal. Bloomington pushing their way through. She does get 5 points on that pass.
And that ties the game.
Ties the game. Excellent job for Bloomington. They were having a tough day yesterday, and it looks like they are fighting back Sunday. 5 more points for Bloomington. Only 2 Skids in the pack, and she just splits them apart. 5 more points again for Bloomington. They are now in the lead. 3 on the track for both teams. Bloomington coming around for one more pass. Stuck behind Just Bandit and Smack Daddy. That's a tough wall to be stuck behind. And she's calling it off. 5 more points for Bloomington.
That gives them 20 points. Big jam for Bloomington to kick it right off. Bipolar Curves really making a case for herself and her team. Montreal, unfortunately, had 2 blockers in the Sugar Bomb penalty box and the jammer for this one. Little Mama and Surgical Strike at the beginning of the jam. So serious advantage for Bloomington. It does pay to play clean, children.
Up in the jam is Speed and Rear. And she tiptoes on that outside. 1 more to beat. Get through this pack. And she does it. She is lead jam.
All right, so Speedy and Rear.
Miracle Whips. Yep, sorry. Miracle Whips just entering the pack now. She is on her first pass. She completed that first pass. Bloomington in for points scoring. She does it. She'd be wise to call it. She did. No points for Montreal. Let's see. That's 3 for Bloomington. Now Montreal coming into this bout were the favorite to really take a commanding lead, but Bloomington is really fighting on this one.
Well, as they should be.
Absolutely.
You know, they are ranked 42. Montreal is ranked 17. There is an advantage there, and I think an experience advantage there. But if you're going to go down, you're going to go down swinging. And right now, they're winning.
And that is number 44, Knuckle Sammy. We saw her at the beginning of the bout jamming out, and she is the lead jammer.
That's right.
Montreal hot on her feet, though.
Yeah, F18 Honey Badger.
Oh, and she calls it just on the outside of Smack Daddy.
Yeah.
0 points, yep.
Yeah, that's a wash. I mean, she could feel that Honey Badger was coming right behind her, so she tried to get some points before the other jammer would actually enter the pack, and just thought, I'm just gonna beam it in, and Smack Daddy was waiting for her, pushed to the outside, and she called it.
Yep.
Oh, and look at this. Montreal tries a new jammer. A recruit for Montreal Roller Derby and for the Skids, Hot Cross Guns, who played in the last bout with the Sexpos.
Missed the Bloomington jammer. That was our favorite from the last jam. Bipolar Curves is the lead jammer for Bloomington. Hot Cross Guns narrowly misses a hit by number 13, and she's out of the pack. Bloomington coming around for a point-scoring pass, and she calls it just as Hot Cross Guns was coming in.
And she got 2 points on that pass. Bipolar Curves is having a very good day.
Absolutely.
I mean, granted, it's only 5 minutes into the bout, but this, from what I remember, she was not one of the regular jammers from yesterday, and right now they're really turning to her.
Absolutely. I dare say maybe she was being saved for today.
Quite possible.
Up on the line there is Speed and Rear for Bloomington. Marijuana, number 420 for Montreal, up in the lead, 1 to beat, and she does it. Montreal has lead jam. Speed and Rear, 1 to beat again. She does that. She's finally out of the pack. Marijuana coming around for points. She's got a wall of her own players there. Pushing Bloomington forward. She's doing that push that's we've been seeing all weekend long.
Yeah, it's the don't get a back block push.
Yeah. And Montreal coming around for another pass. It looks like they're just trying to get as many points as they can in this 2 minutes. No point in stopping Bloomington. Marijuana probably relying on her blockers to do as much stopping as possible, but unfortunately Speed and Rear is coming in hot.
Yeah.
And she's not being stopped.
Yeah, right now they're just going tat for tat.
Speed and Rear coming out ahead. Oh, and she got a track cut major coming around. That was Smack Daddy that she was trying to beat.
Ouais, ça veut dire un super jump pour Marijuana et les New Skids on the block. But let me tell you, that's an imposing wall for Bleeding Heartland. If that one thing can be said, it's their imposing players.
And Marijuana knows it. She passed the star,
Yeah.
and that's... Who is that jamming?
Georgia W. Tush.
Of course it is. Oh, but Bleeding Heartland brings her to her knees. They are not making those points easy to score.
No. And as a viewer and a fan, I enjoy that.
Little far out of the pack, trying to bridge back. And that jam times out. Bleeding Heartland still in the lead, 33 points, 27 for Montreal.
And Monichrome, let me tell you about the sponsor for the jammer line.
Please.
1234 Skate Company. Based in Peterborough, Ontario, the 1234 Skate Company is owned and operated by TORD co-founder and former Death Track doll Lucid Lou, and serves in the 705 area code. In addition to gear, 1234 also offers skate maintenance, classes, training, and league launch parties.
And what we just missed is, a false start. She has to come around the back. That is number 35 for
Scores
Montreal.
Easy. And that's Miracle Whips on a power jam. C'est un super jam pour Miracle Whips. Pas facile, mais qui finalement fait son premier passage cumulatif. 5 points Grand Slam pour Miracle Whips.
Speed and Rear coming back from the penalty box. Met with a formidable wall by Montreal at the back. Miracle Whips dealing with some white at the front. She gets through. First scoring pass. This might even just be her first pass.
It's her initial pass.
Yeah, it is her initial pass.
Yeah.
And she's not quite completing it. Stuck behind Little Mama and Just Bandit.
And that's no small task. And there goes Miracle Whips on the outside. Miracle Whips, an autre 5 points. I saw the thumbs up there to coaching saying, I'm okay, I'm going on.
And we have a star change. Miracle Whips does come through, but Bleeding Heartland is passed on the star. to number 70. That is Mercedes.
Miracle Whips qui continue son très bon jam. Un autre grand slam. That's got to be 20 points for Miracle Whips.
Mercedes not having any more luck with that wall at the front. Bleeding Heartland starting to feel that pressure. Their lead is well gone now. Miracle Whips just almost sneaking through. Bleeding Heartland feeds her back, but she does pick up 5 more points on that pass.
And, and it was a very nice demonstration of how do you split the pack between offense and defense. In this one, Miracle Whips, I think, was having an easier time because the Bleeding Heartland pack looked really focused on getting the jammer through. And at some point, you do have to get that jammer through because Miracle Whips was just skating around, collecting points. And the only way to stop that bleeding was to get that jammer through, then to keep the other jammer from scoring. And that's what they did.
Yep, absolutely. Lining up for Bleeding Heartland, Knuckle Sammy, which we saw earlier. She is stuck behind Georgia W. Tush blocking for Montreal. But this is a power jam for Bleeding Heartland. Hot Cross Guns went to the penalty box. I didn't see the call.
It was actually Honey Badger.
Sorry. See, I didn't even see the skater.
Yeah.
She got there so fast. Knuckle Sammy coming around for her first point-scoring pass. Her blocker's doing a great job of breaking up that pack, making it easy for her.
And now that Montreal is sitting at only 2 blockers, chasing Amy Georgia Tush, then 2 great blockers, but an advantage, un avantage pour Bleeding Heartland à 4 bloqueuses contre 2 pour Montréal.
And Knuckle Sammy coming through again, 5 points. Oh, excellent pack work. Perfect timing for Bleeding Heartland.
Yeah.
Knuckle Sammy was completely unscathed in that pass.
They just felt the breeze and she was gone.
This pass a little bit tougher. She does call it off. 1 toe stop off. Sometimes you just got to prevent that cut and call it.
Absolutely. Bleeding Heartland biting back 62-52. I don't think Montreal was expecting this kind of a challenge.
No.
But hey, you've got to rise to it. And right now, Bleeding Heartland is really going toe for toe.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and this is a great advantage for them. They're putting out bipolar curves, our favorite so far for this game.
Yeah.
4 blockers for Bleeding Heartland, only 2 for Montreal.
Yep.
They're going to try to make this first pass easy and count. And it does. She is lead jammer. Montreal fighting back, trying to make it difficult, but I think that was surgical strike off on a penalty.
Yeah, she was blocking out of the pack, and Honey Badger is now out of the penalty box. Honey Badger sort de la boîte des pénalités, mais non, c'est bon. Elle continue, bipolar curves. Arrête le jam. Pulls off the jam. There goes Coach Ewan asking for a timeout. And I think that's an excellent time for a timeout.
I think so too.
Yes.
They were feeling that game.
Yeah.
You just got to refocus. And really, I think that it's tricky when you are the favorite to win, when you've got these rankings. I think they were, and this is maybe speculation. I don't want to put any words into Montreal's mouth here, but I think as a skater myself, sometimes you get caught up in being that favorite and being that leader, and so you might underestimate your opponent. And 17-42 rankings, like it's inevitable that you're going to feel a little less pressure. It's a Sunday afternoon. Maybe you don't think that you have to come in swinging, but Bleeding Heartland clearly thought about it all night.
Yeah.
Really focused, really came in really strong, and you can see that in the score.
And to say that in Bleeding Heartland's credit, they are ranked 42. They have nothing to lose. They're
Absolutely.
just thinking, this team is really strong. Let's learn from this. And right now it's really working for them because I think they're playing with maybe less pressure because they're thinking this team is very strong. We're just going to go in and do the best that we can. And right now they're doing excellent.
Absolutely.
And hot cross guns on the line for Les New Skids.
And Mal's Dolls jamming for Bleeding Heartland.
Yeah, we saw her a few times yesterday jamming.
Yep. Definitely a very strong blocker as well. I noticed her yesterday was really like leading each of her packs, knowing where everything is. She's a very smart player. And you can see that too. She knows where everyone is, calls off the jam before Hot Cross Guns can come in for points.
Oh, my favorite way. Jammer falls to the ground and calls the jam.
Yep.
Let me tell you about Jack in the Socks, Monichrome.
Please do.
It doesn't matter whether your socks match or not. At Jack in the Socks, their mission is to banish plain, boring socks from sock drawers everywhere, one forgettable pair at a time. jackinthesocks.ca.
And Marijuana coming right off that line.
Yeah.
Pack was up at the pivot line, which we don't see very often.
No, but that
anymore,
benefited Knuckle Sammy as well. She's right behind her.
And this is a fast pack.
Yeah, it's tiny. Tiny, 2 blockers to each team. They were going super fast, and Marijuana just thought, this is pointless. I've got Knuckle Sammy right behind me. The pack is moving at light speed. If I make any points, I'm just going to trade with the other team, so let's call it off and start again.
Yep. And no point in wearing yourself out either.
No. Well, not if you're not, same thing, 0-0-4-4.
Right. Absolutely.
I was good at math.
Miracle Whips, deking on the out, coming in through the in. She is lead jammer.
There goes Bipolar Curves. Miracle Whips, première jammeuse. Bipolar Curves, qui est un très bon match, a very good match for Bipolar Curves so far, is right behind Miracle Whips.
This pack is spread out quite a bit, and Miracle Whips is able to make her way through. One to beat, and she does it. 4 points for each.
And again, a 2-2 pack.
Yeah, stalemate here. But she does call it just before Bloomington can pick up that second set of 4 points.
Yeah. That means there's a lot of penalties happening. At the half, we will keep you updated on what is going on with the penalty board, because I have a feeling there's a lot of action going on in the penalty box.
And there's some of that action there. That is the Sugar Bomb penalty box. 2 for Bloomington, 1 for Montreal now.
There goes the Honey Badger et Knuckle Sammy pour Bloomington.
Honey Badger well out of the pack now. Knuckle Sammy still stuck behind that Montreal wall. Honey Badger really unscathed there.
Et Knuckle Sammy recyclé derrière Just Bandit.
Nice call. Some great blocking by Bloomington, forcing a penalty on Montreal's blocker for direction of play.
But she got through.
Knuckle Sammy out on a 4 points for her.
Yeah, she did that a few times yesterday. I think when the pack is positioned well, she'll try that apex jump. Et voilà, Honey Badger, 5 points, un autre grand slam pour les New Skids. And she's trusting the pack, trusting that her blockers will be able to stop Knuckle Sammy.
Oh,
and they're not.
No.
And unfortunately for the New Skids, c'est un super jam pour Knuckle Sammy. Honey Badger lands in the Sugar Bomb penalty box on a back block call.
Knuckle Sammy gets through, only 2 Montreal Skids to beat. Once again, penalty trouble. Oh, great jamming.
Yeah, nobody saw her coming.
No. Well, and good blocking too. I mean, Bloomington really was just that sticky person. Yep, there we go. Once again, just pushing at least 2 players out of the way, trying to force the pack ahead. They do it. Forcing another penalty.
And they tie the game.
They tie the game with that pass.
They tie the game. Yeah, they're feeling it.
Absolutely. Huge pack advantage, too. The penalty box is full for Montreal. Smack Daddy was going out on a penalty. She has to skate on this. She is on deck, which means that Montreal is going to be playing short for at least another 2 minutes.
Well, they're playing without 2 blockers and without a jammer. So a power jam situation, and they send out Speedy Rear.
And she gets it. She is lead jam. Came out clean. And this is nice, too. All the blockers have to do is just play that offensive game. Let Montreal come out of play. And she calls it just as Honey Badger enters.
I don't think Honey Badger had performed her initial pass yet, had she?
No, she hadn't. And I think the jammer's seeing that. I think she was listening to her bench. The bench. Maybe.
She could have let her go.
Could have let her go.
Could have let her go. She could have scored another run.
Either way, they'll take that 2-point lead.
Oh, absolutely. 89-87 for Bleeding Heartland. And now they put out Hot Cross Guns versus Bipolar Curves of Bleeding Heartland.
Hot Cross Guns getting pulled far to the back. Interesting strategy there. I saw that pack split quite a bit. Hot Cross Guns. Sorry, was that anybody?
This is Hot Cross Guns now.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally distracted by people coming in and out of the penalty box.
Yeah, and Bipolar Curves is having no luck on this one.
No.
There we go, hitting and chasing Amy. Big wall, very strong wall of new Skids at the front there. Scores easy, Georgia Tush, and Just Bandit.
Certainly holding her own.
Yeah, Bipolar, but Just Bandit lands in the box on that hit. And look at, oh my God, Hot Cross Guns going toe for toe right against number 38, Special Sass. And I think that's a power jam. Yes, c'est un super jam pour les new Skids. Hot Cross Guns, Bipolar Curves in the Sugar Bomb box for a track cut.
I believe that's one blocker for Bloomington. Oh, and I think that was a direction of gameplay. Nope, but she has to stay back on. That box is full.
That's still a sweet hit.
It was a sweet. Illegal, but it worked.
Yeah. Good for entertainment.
Yeah. One to beat, and she does it.
Well, for a rookie jammer, I must say.
Especially considering she just played a full game for Les Sexpos.
Yeah, absolutely. She put her team back in the lead, if there's anything. We, speaking of great players, we will be deciding on MVP awards later on today, and the MVP will be handed out after the final game on Sunday, today, and they are provided by Radar Wheels. Radar Presto is proud to sponsor the Quad City Chaos. Radar Presto, say, Monichrome, these are nice.
Looking forward to giving those wheels to a very deserving skater here. Melajuana coming around as the lead jammer and just flying on that outside.
That was hot. Like she tiptoed on the line there and nobody saw her.
Oh, they felt her.
She
goes. Just bounced back.
Yeah, she slipped on the inside this one. She keeps them guessing.
Yep, Bipolar Curves making another attempt, stuck at the back there. The blocker's trying to help her through, not seeing Melajuana coming around for a point-scoring pass. Natural grand slam for her. One more to beat for Melajuana, number 38, throwing down the hits.
Yeah. Special Sass has had, I think, a good weekend.
Absolutely. She is a tough blocker to beat. Oh, but she does get a back block penalty, so she is in the box. Melijuana just skating around that outside.
And Bleeding Heartland's box is full now, so she's going to have to come back later, which means they are playing minus 2 blockers for the next 2 minutes. And Melijuana just raking it in. Melijuana, un autre Grand Slam. No such luck for Bipolar Curves. She had a great start of the game, but now it looks like the new Skids have picked up her number, and yeah, she's having a bad jam now.
Yep.
Having a hard time.
Just got called out on a track cut penalty, so this is once again a power jam for Montreal. Oh, but that doesn't mean Bloomington's going to give that up.
Nope.
Number 594, Malls Dolls. We saw her jamming earlier, and there you see her blocking prowess as well.
And that was a giant jam for Melijuana. She definitely put a nice cushion on the new Skids lead, and we're looking at the Sugar Bomb penalty box. 3 skaters for Bleeding Heartland, including the jammer, obviously, and I think 1 in line. No, that was Special Sass, who is now in the penalty box.
Right.
So their box is full. The new Skids have 4 blockers on the track. Looks like they're going to send out Miracle Whips. And that's, a big advantage. Power jam, and then the defensive team is missing 2 blockers. Yeah, so they're looking to extend their lead here.
And if you take a look at this line that Montreal's putting out, that's going to be really sealing in the deal there.
Well, it's a nice experienced line too. Mange-moi le cul, Smack Daddy, Surgical Strike, and I can't see the other one, Little Mama. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a tough line.
It's a tough line. It's a good offensive line. And that's what they need right now. Miracle Whips just needs them to move the blockers out of the way so she can skate around and not have to stop.
Yep. And she's poised for that speed.
And they choose to stay back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not what I would have expected, but looks like Bloomington's going to try to inch this pack forward. Smack Daddy not making it easy for him. Oh, nice hit, but that landed another penalty for Bloomington.
That's right, number 44. Knuckle Sammy, the usual jammer, playing in the pack. Oh, 1 blocker only for Bloomington on the track right now. Knuckle Sammy, no room at the end in the penalty box, so she is forced to come back on the track. She will serve her minute as soon as a seat frees up. And in the meantime, this is Miracle Whips' 2nd Grand Slam. 10 points so far.
And unfortunately, Bloomington, 1 left alone, Mercedes.
But they do have a jammer.
They do have a jammer now. There is room in the penalty box for Sammy there.
Le jammer does have to complete the initial pass. La jammeuse doit compléter son passage initial, ce qui ne sera pas facile avec un mur de Skids à 4 contre 2 bloqueuses seulement pour Bleeding Heartland. Et ça pousse à l'avant pour Miracle Whips. C'est trop loin, 20 pieds. On la laisse passer. 20 points, 20 points so far for Miracle Whips.
Mercedes going to the penalty box. They were joined multiplayer block, and she is serving for that penalty.
And there goes
Still
Miracle
stuck at
Whips.
the back is Bipolar Curves from Bloomington.
Yeah, but there's some Smack Daddy gets sent to the box. And oh, Bipolar Curves is just over this jam. Having a hard time. Yeah, that was a tough jam for Bipolar Curves.
Just got the heads up. Surgical Sass is already sitting at 6 penalties for this bout.
You must be talking about Special Sass.
Special Sass, sorry.
Yes.
I'm confusing the two.
With its Surgical Strike.
Yes, they're both.
Who was?
blockers.
She's sitting at 3.
Yep.
So the S's are bad girls today.
That's right. That is Honey Badger jamming for Montreal. Number 135 in the whites, beat him rear. Being pulled back to the back, doing a little dance with the refs.
That's got to happen sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love it that they don't care, though. You just got to carry on.
Yep.
Et c'est Honey Badger qui est à son premier passage cumulatif. Speedium Rear sort du peloton également.
Knuckle Sammy doing double duty there. She was jamming so much earlier in the bout. Now she's blocking and hopping and really trying to force those penalties.
Let me tell you why. Knuckle Sammy is the only returning skater from last season's roster for Bleeding Heartland.
Amazing.
The entire roster are all rookies on that team. They're not. I mean, they're probably not rookies to roller derby, but they're rookies to sanction WFTDA play. And speaking of which, here she is, Knuckle Sammy, on the jammer line, on the 12:34 jammer line.
Just coming off that last line as a blocker. Now getting hit around by Georgia W. Tush. Hot Cross Guns jamming for Montreal.
And Knuckle Sammy gets, she is lead jammer. Première jammeuse pour Bleeding Heartland. Hot Cross Guns au banc des punitions. Track cut on Hot Cross Guns. She's in the penalty box. Un super jam pour Bleeding Heartland.
Knuckle Sammy juking around. She does pass through for 5 more points.
Et un avantage pour les bloqueuses de Bleeding Heartland. 4 bloqueuses contre 3 pour Montréal. Non, maintenant c'est 3. Mais pas de différence. Knuckle Sammy, ça passe pour Bleeding Heartland. She gets through 5 more points.
Mercedes trying to come up and give her some room on that inside line. Pulls Smack Daddy back.
And Georgia Tush, big hit by Jess Bandit.
And Georgia W. Tush. They're all of Montreal is taking turns. Getting a little piece of Sammy. Sorry, that was a terrible pun.
I just laughed because he called her Sammy.
Yeah.
Well, New Skids had just like that, had about 100-point lead. Right now reduced by this excellent jam by Knuckle Sammy. 103 for Bleeding Heartland, 196 for Montreal. 93 points. And there goes Speedy Rear for Bleeding Heartland. Et c'est Hot Cross Guns qui est toujours au banc des punitions, qui est maintenant sorti pour les New Skids.
Incredible strength on her skates there. There's some serious blockers to try to get around, and she just took them on single-handedly. And she calls it.
With no points.
No points.
Unfortunately. But she could see that Hot Cross Guns was coming in, protected the point differential, if you will. And, if I'm not going to gain any, then I won't lose any.
For sure.
That makes sense.
It's all about making points. And
That's
making more points than the other team.
Yeah. And just like that, wow, did you see that coming?
No,
half
not
time.
at all. It's halftime already.
Halftime. I don't think the New Skids expected such a challenge.
No.
They had a big challenge at the beginning of the bout. Bleeding Heartland, a little bit of a lull about around minute 20. They bite back. Yeah. They bite back. Maybe we sound like broken records, but it's the penalties. I know the New Skids have been working on this very hard to clean up the play, but the Bleeding Heartland team seems to be really drawing the penalties out of the Montreal team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and even the power jams, they very seldom do I see them sent to the box as often as they did in this half. And that's from a team that's ranked 42. So, I think ranking is good for one thing, but style, I think, also counts for a lot. The blockers for Bleeding Heartland, they're very imposing, they're very solid, and the Montreal blocking is very fluid, but I guess has to adapt to the style that Bleeding Heartland is imposing on them now.
And I don't know if that comes with experience or lack of experience. Like, you really have to change up your gameplay, and I don't know that Montreal is twitching to what Bleeding Heartland is feeding them. And they're sort of we're not quite sure which game we're playing. Are we playing Montreal's game, or are we playing Bleeding Heartland's game? And really, the winners of any game are the ones that can impose themselves on the other team. And we saw that in the second half of this half, that Montreal was really imposing their power, but it really came down to power jams, where those points were scored. So it'll be really interesting to see after the half what kind of conversations are happening, and what strategy ends up coming out ahead. And I hate to say it, but I don't know that I expected that for this particular game. So I'm really excited to see both teams fight back and really command that lead.
Well, Montreal is going to come back and say, we're going to impose our game. And Bleeding Heartland is going to say, we're going to do more of this and, not move on the track and get those power jams. Because Montreal was making, when they got on a roll and they would make the points, it didn't matter if it was a power jam or not. The jammers just got stuck.
Yes.
Like we just saw this with, I hate to single out, but Bipolar Curves got stuck a few times, and she just wasn't moving.
Right.
But when the minute Montreal gave away a power jam, then Bleeding Heartland was just making the points and making the points, and they would bite back.
Yeah, and it's really going to come down to, and that's part of the experience too. Bloomington maybe doesn't have that experience of switching from offense to defense so quickly. So hopefully they can come back from the half with a little bit more of that.
No, absolutely. I have faith.
But in the meantime, we've got about 12 minutes of the half, so we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll come back to you hopefully a little bit early so we can introduce these teams.